In the Hardaway 7T, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, do your boy a solid. Hit that thumbs up. If it's your first time, do your boy a favor. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. When you roll on in, I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time today. Just want to hit y'all with this informational tea. We got some smoke in the city. We got some smoke alert, right? We in the midst of the 135-pound division doing this damn thing, right? We got the Devontae Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia giving us their big fight. We got Vasil Lomachenko and Devin Haney giving us their big fight, right? We got Shakur Stevenson moving up to 135. We got Frank Martin emergence at 135, right? We got Michelle Rivera, you know what I mean, trying to put his name back in the pot, right? And we got Mr. Gary Russell, officially making his move from the 126-pound division, 130-pound division, my bad, making his move from the 126 and the 130-pound division, right? He said he's going to be moving up to the 130-pound or the 135-pound division. He's finally leaving the 126 division. Now he fought Lomachenko right at 130, but he went back down to 126 type deal. But he has been around 130 before, right? I think it would have been interesting, right, for him to move up to 130 and fight, right? But it's looking like Mr. Gary Russell Jr. is intended on moving to the 135-pound division as well, right? And I had did an EP like some months ago, right? I said if he decides to forego the 130-pound division and move straight up to the 135-pound division, that'll make that division that much more interesting, right? And it's looking like Mr. Gary Russell is intending on doing just that. Mr. Gary Russell was being interviewed by ES News. If I'm not mistaken, this who this is, right? He was being interviewed by ES News, and they asked him about how he will feel about a potential Shakur Stevenson fight. And Mr. Gary Russell, he said everything right that I expected Mr. Gary Russell to say, right? Mr. Gary Russell said that he's open to fighting Shakur Stevenson next, and that Shakur Stevenson, in his own words, right? He said he opened to fighting him next, and that Shakur Stevenson could most definitely get it, right? Now, we all know that Shakur Stevenson and Mr. Gary Russell had a little history, right? If you don't know, I'm about to tell you now. They had a little history at the 126-pound division, right? There was a bit of rumblings. There was a bit of rumblings, right? That Gary Russell, Shakur Stevenson could be a possible fight coming, right? For those titles at 126. Now, Shakur Stevenson eventually ended up moving up to 130, and nothing really came of it, right? But now we got Mr. Gary Russell, right, who's intending on making his move to a new division. He's officially moving the 126-pound division, right? For good. He has a choice to go up to 130 or 135. He came out some months back and he said that it's going to be one of those divisions. He hadn't really made his mind up, right? He wants the biggest fights, right? And I had said the biggest fights will be at 135 for Mr. Gary Russell right now. So it's looking like that's what Mr. Gary Russell is intending to do, right? But I'm about to read it straight from the article, right? So you don't got to take my word for it. I see y'all in the building too. King Judah, shout out my guy, King Judah, my guy Yoda Wise, my girl Tate MMA, my baby Roy. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Queen, as well. He said, "Come on, bro. Shakur not fighting Gary. He'll more likely fight another bum on top rank protection plan. Crazy thing is he don't need protection. Facts, but right. Let's get to it, pimp. Let's get to it, pimp. Uh, the competitive fight in Gary Russell burns a bit brighter than most. The newly turned 35-year-old has come to accept his defeat at the hands of Mark Magsayo. In part, Russell's willingness to let it go stems from what he believes was injustice on that night. Only 2 years ago, they battled it out in Atlantic City before being able to find his rhythm. Gary Russell's right shoulder gave out on him. With the Maryland resident forced to fight the majority of their bout with one hand, Russell takes silence in his performance and believes that he should have been given the nod. As the former featherweight title holder eyes a return to the ring, he concedes that his days at competing at 126 have officially come to an end. Although he successfully defended his crown for well over 5 years at 31 and 2 losses, 18 KOs. Reminisces about the opportunities that passed him. Amongst those golden opportunities, Russell was hopeful that one day he would face Shakur Stevenson. Ultimately, the two reigned atop the featherweight division roughly at the same time, which is what I was alluding to. You know what I mean? Just then. However, his time at the summit of the featherweight mountain was transient now that the former Olympic silver medalist has officially planted his flag in the lightweight division. Although the likes of Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin, Devin Haney, and various others are considered the elite, Russell acknowledges that Shakur Stevenson, 20-0 with 10 knockouts, is the man to beat at 135. So Gary Russell Jr. feels like that Shakur Stevenson is the man to beat at 135. Here's Gary Russell. He said, I'm one of those people that give credit where it's due. Russell told Boxing Scene, I feel as though Shakur Stevenson, out of all of them, is the nicest. I think he can fight better than any of them. With that being said, when Shakur little ass was at 126, I was on his line too. So Gary Russell said that he had smoke for Shakur Stevenson back then. I was trying to get Shakur. Shakur moved from 126 and went to 130 real quick. So Gary Russell is saying that Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Gary Russell is saying that Shakur Stevenson ducked him at 126. Russell alludes to Shakur Stevenson didn't waste much time at 126 immediately after dominating Joel Gonzalez for the WBO crown 2019. Stevenson dropped his freshly won title 8 months later and moved up in weight. Still, despite the two being nowhere near each other in terms for their respective divisions, Russell reveals that if Stevenson is willing to face him, he'll be more than ready to take on Stevenson next. Mr. Gary Russell simply had to say he knows that he can get it too. So you have Mr. Gary Russell saying that Shakur Stevenson ducked him at 126. Right, he moved up to 130 fast. The end that he hit his line, and Shakur Stevenson and them never got back to him. And now you got Mr. Gary Russell Jr. saying that he'll be open to fighting Shakur Stevenson now, right? If you don't believe me, you know, you could Google that. You could check out the Boxing Scene. He told that to Boxing Scene directly, right? Not ES News. It was Boxing Scene, right? But, you know, Mr. Gary Russell said that Shakur Stevenson openly ducked him. I think I got me something to talk about a little later, man. I'm most definitely gonna run the stream where we gonna sit down, we gonna rap about this. I ain't gonna keep this video too long, right? But I appreciate everybody sliding through this thing. Mr. Gary Russell said Shakur Stevenson can get it right now if he want to. And he also said that he been wanting to smoke with Shakur Stevenson back at 126, but he moved up to 130 real fast after Mr. Gary Russell hit his line. Most definitely gonna have to come and talk about this to you a little later. But I appreciate y'all folks sliding through. Skin Hardaway Southern Tea. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.